The fire was a surface fire, billowing smoke out of the Bridgeton landfill. Many people complaining about eye irritants and getting sick. So we're going to go to the experts, just like we always do on this. Harvey Ferdman is the expert when it comes to this. He's a policy analyst to Representative Bill Otto, who represents the district. Harvey, thanks for joining us via Skype on KTRS Radio.
Oh, thanks for having me on, McGraw. I wish it was about something happier.
Yeah. So what? This is a new development. This surface fire. What happened?
Well, it appears there was a 2-inch line, an air feed line that broke, and it was buried slightly under the surface. And as that air was pumped into the warm garbage, the garbage ignited. And once the garbage ignited, it was near a 16-inch methane line. They do methane collection from inside the dump. There's a lot of methane produced as the garbage decomposes, and that methane line ruptured and caught on fire.
All right. So lots of people on Facebook in the area were complaining about eye irritants, runny noses, feeling sick, terrible odor. Was that the reason for all of that?
Well, it could be. During the initial time of the fire, a lot of a plastic liner that's over the landfill burned. I was told it was about a 15-foot by 15-foot area that had melted and burned, and that's like any house fire or anything else. There's a lot of plastics and different toxins that'll come out just from that cap burning.
Is there
Uh,
is there any chance of any of that burning near the nuclear waste that's there, or do we have any idea?
this was on the other side of the dump from where the nuclear waste is, but it does show the complexity of managing this site, and that, try as we may, we as humans are not perfect engineers, and these things do happen. And unfortunately, this could have happened on the other side of the dump, closer to where the nuclear waste is. So it's still not an ideal solution to have these two side by side.
Has this finally woken up enough people to where somebody might do something? Is there enough outrage over this now that we're starting to see some movement in other places?
Well, we're getting there. One of the problems, as you know, is the Superfund process administered by the EPA is not serving this community properly. We really need this turned over to the Corps of Engineers. And Attorney General Koster, just this Monday, after all this happened, put a statement out saying that well, actually, if I can just read it really quick, there's a great deal of research that goes into analyzing what actually is in Westlake landfill. Koster said the Army Corps would very probably have to redo and rethink a lot of the decisions that have occurred at the EPA level. So yes, we're making progress in exposing that the EPA Superfund process is not serving this community, and more of our elected officials and administrators in various agencies are starting to recognize that. It's still a long uphill battle for us, but we're making progress.
The disaster scenario is a fire like this breaks out on the other side, or the fire smoldering underneath reaches the nuclear waste site. And we've been told time and time again by the experts that that's not possible. But every time the experts say, oh, the waste isn't there, that's not possible, we find out factually that the waste is where they don't think it is, and that these surface fires can actually cause damage. Did we dodge a bullet the other day?
I believe so. I believe so. It was a serious situation, although it was brought under control and put out within a half an hour. It was a serious situation. Representative Otto personally went over there. Our citizens in that area are just absolutely amazing. The first phone call was to 911. The second phone call was to Representative Bill Otto. He jumped in his truck and he went over there, and he was updating Facebook Live from the site so that people would know what was going on. And the good news was he was able to tell them that they were safe. Now, that initial plume was out. It was done, but the fire was out within a half hour.
Now, there was also some criticism or some controversy, or part of the story was that the Pattonville police did not respond properly and or were not contacted properly. What was that all about?
Well, they were contacted properly. Well, I'm sorry, I'll take that back. They were contacted by citizens. Yeah, they were supposed to be contacted by Republic Services, the owner of the landfill, and they were not. There's a big postmortem being done on that now, and that whole system. Unfortunately, this may have been a practice run, and that's the
So,
sad news.
It just seems like a no-brainer to me after like something like this happens. Like you said, it is like a practice run. So why wouldn't someone, I don't know who that would be, immediately say, okay, this needs to be in the hands of the right department, Army Corps of Engineers, whoever it would be, to make sure something like this doesn't happen again?
Well, we and the citizens are for sure,
it's
Kelly. Absolutely.
it just boggles my mind that you're telling me, and you're the scientist, you're the expert, Harvey, and you're not. You've been on this show numerous times. You're not one to throw bombs and to sort of create controversy. You're just the facts man, and you're telling us that if it were on the other side of the landfill, which it very easily could have done, it could have come in contact with the nuclear waste. The nuclear waste could have caught on fire or whatever happens to it. It could have gone airborne, and the processes in place to put it out weren't followed. So not only did we dodge a bullet in not igniting the nuclear waste, we also seem to dodge a bullet in the actual cleanup of it.
Well, just two things. One is I'm not a scientist, but I can read the EPA's documentation and try to make sense out of it. The second is, when I said on the other side of the landfill, there's still the North Quarry separating where all of the gas collection equipment is, and there was the gas collection equipment that caught on fire. There's still the North Quarry that separates it from the fire from the nuclear waste. So it would not have been immediately in contact with it, but it potentially, would have made the fire and things closer to the radioactive waste.
Well, but you have
and as time goes on, they'll probably end up having to put a gas collection system closer to or inside where the nuclear waste is, and there we go. Now we have more potential for failures.
As you've taught us on this show, but as they're digging this trench around both areas so that one doesn't meet the other, they found nuclear waste within that trench. So they don't know exactly where this nuclear waste is.
I would agree with that.
Yeah,
that's sure.
Yeah, that's something you taught us. Going forward, Harvey, what do you want people to know? Who can they call? How can they get in contact, and how can they help?
First thing is look at Facebook, Westlake Landfill. The second is there's a community meeting open to the public, and we're having the Red Cross there tomorrow night. The Red Cross is going to talk about emergency preparedness and grab-and-go bags and things like that this community really should be educated on and wants to be educated on. So tomorrow night, 6:30 at the International Union of Operating Engineers at 3449 Hollenberg Drive. That's right behind the landfill. St. Charles Rock Road and 270.
Let me get this straight. The Bridgeton area is preparing for a disaster, is what you're telling me.
The citizens, yeah, I mean, imagine waking up Sunday morning to both phone calls and looking out your window and seeing smoke coming out of that landfill.
Right. So
these people are absolutely scared.
Right. So we have a community that is preparing for a disaster, while the rest of us in this community really haven't paid attention to this.
Well, you're trying to help that, and I appreciate it.
Well, it's an amazing story. Harvey Ferdman, who is the policy analyst for Representative Bill Otto, not officially a scientist, but you're more of a scientist than any of us here. You can actually understand that what the EPA says. So we'll leave it at that. Harvey, via Skype, thanks for coming in, Harvey. We're going to post this. We'll send it to you, and you can post this interview on your Facebook page and sort of send it out so people can find out more information on it. Harvey, thanks for coming in. Have a good day.
Thank you.
You got it. 7:30 here on KTRS. It's unbelievable.
It is.
It's unbelievable.
It really is.
We have a community that is preparing for a natural disaster, not a natural disaster, a man-made disaster.
Yeah.
And other people are like, woohoo, hey.
You would just think after what happened Sunday that someone, and I know Harvey and Representative Otto and the citizens around there, they're doing all they can, but their hands are tied.
they're preparing for a nuclear fallout. St. Louis burns, and who is paying attention? 7:30, Big 550 KTR.